Meanwhile, back home, floods, rains continue to wreak havoc across India. Recent rains have caused flash floods, landslides and waterlogging from Assam to northern India to the southern peninsular region. Incessant rains have brought lives to a standstill. These are some visuals there of the kind of issues that people are facing, how normal life has been disrupted by such heavy rainfall. And joining us now is the president of Skymet to explain the situation, its implications, its causes. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Sharma, for joining us. When we talk about the current situation, how would you describe it? Because what we are seeing here is a near disaster, complete breakdown of basic infrastructure. How are people going to survive in cities, live in cities, if this is going to happen whenever there's a heavy shower?
Yes, you see the monsoon, as we see, has picked up pace now. June was relatively a little weak, I will say, and particularly for the places where it matters most, where it causes those problems, especially places like Mumbai, entire Konkan coast, and some other parts of Gujarat or Madhya Pradesh. And presently in news is Mumbai, which earlier also, in the beginning of the month itself, first and second itself, we had a deluge there. A small little break in between, and then again, since last evening, again it's a downpour is there. In the first about 5 days itself, the city has received more than 400 millimeter of rainfall, which is just about half the month's normal. Mind you, July is the rainiest month. But then this is nothing new. It is predicted. Alerts have been issued, alarms have been issued, and I will tell you, it's going to rain heavily. Even in the days which are to come now, next 2, 3, I will say 7th, 8th, 9th, it's going to be a heavy downpour. It is going to be much more severe than what we are having now in these 24 hours. So therefore, we have to prepare for these things. This is a case fit accompli. The monsoon picks up, monsoon current is very strong along the west coast. So these incidents will happen every time we see these things, and every time these things happen, and every time we raise the alert. But then nothing much as such. It happens on ground. Yes, please.
Right. So when we talk about the Northeast, what would be your prediction? Already the Northeast has seen such heavy rainfall, floods everywhere, whether you talk about Assam, whether you talk about even Meghalaya, roads have been washed away, bridges have been washed away. That's another matter. But what is the forecast for the days ahead?
Yes. I would like to give you the good news as far as the Northeast is concerned. You see, it has gone through 2 bouts of floods, I know. Okay, and the latest one, which we had in the last week or so. But the good news is there has not been any fresh heavy rains in the last about 3 days or so. The situation has improved in many pockets, and there is nothing is going to be heavy or very heavy in the next few days. I will put it even for a week or so. The normal rains the Northeast will have, they carry on. It is not going to be a total break as such. It doesn't happen in Northeast India. But then you are not going to have any heavy or extremely heavy rain in the next couple of days, which will give us a respite to recover from the situation which became grave over entire Northeast India. Courtesy some big rivers and their subsidiaries, they in spate, particularly Brahmaputra, flowing right from top upper Assam to lower Assam. That was above the danger level at many places. So I feel there is a good news. Courtesy these pace in the monsoon systems forming in the Bay of Bengal, Northeast India will have an improvement. I think the only thing is water bodies, whenever they are in spate, they keep responding even after the rain stop. The rains from the catchment areas that keep flowing down the water bodies to the lower areas. So that's the problem. Otherwise, there is no heavy rainfall now. They will not be also. Isolated places can have, but otherwise the spread of rainfall and intense rainfall, which we saw in the earlier days, obviously that will not be there. There is a little respite. Flood situation you will find the situation will improve. Already, I think it has improved in some pockets, but then further improvement will take place over northeastern parts. I can say in the next about 4, 5, 6, 7 days, so 1 week itself, it will improve. Yes.
Right. Well, the worst is over as far as the Northeast is concerned. When we talk about Maharashtra, an orange alert, sir, has been issued. Very quickly, your comments on that, what we can expect, what are the precautions we need to take in terms of, the weather, how it could play out. Also in Karnataka, a very quick word, sir, also about the north of India. We are thirsting for rain here.
North of India will have some rains. Okay, yes, after the last spell which was there, we are having the discomfort is very high at the moment. On account of the high heat and high humidity, the discomfort is really terrible. And obviously, everyone is waiting for the rains. If not today, there are some parts which are already raining, but like national capital Delhi or so, if not today could be some sporadic shower only, but I expect some rains will be there tomorrow, which will give some respite over Delhi and adjoining region, parts of even Punjab, Haryana, adjoining region. As far as you said, Maharashtra, from northeast, as I said, you can get some relief, but then the focus should shift now to these parts of Gujarat, Konkan region, parts of Madhya Pradesh. The situation which is developing is warning us possibly for some flooding rain over these parts, southwestern parts of Madhya Pradesh, northern parts of Madhya Maharashtra, including your the Nasik region and Jalgaon region, all these parts, Dhule, Konkan region, starting with Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Alibag, Mumbai, Thane, all these places, they are in for heavy to very heavy rain. This rain will extend, even cover parts of Gujarat. In Gujarat, I will say South Gujarat coastal parts, that's the Surat, Valsad, Vapi, this region, and Saurashtra. Heavy to very heavy rains are likely. I will say even some parts of South Rajasthan will experience those extremely heavy rains. So we have to shift our focus, prepare for that. We still have some time, but it's going to come in the coming days. I will say there are two systems in tandem, one after the other coming up, and they will be bashing this area, which I mentioned, parts of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Konkan, Maharashtra region, one after the other. Next 7 to 8 days, they are going to be very crucial. We got to prepare for that. We will have extremely heavy rain spells over these pockets, particularly for Maharashtra and Konkan, including Mumbai. We got to be very, very watchful for that. Yes, please.
Right. So, and a few words about Karnataka as well, because that is another state that's of these past few years experiencing very heavy rainfall, and we are getting reports of flooding and waterlogging in many areas of even its major cities.
Yes, coastal Karnataka, I will say, whether it's Karwar, Mangalore, Honavar, all these places, they are along the shore, along the complete west coast, starting with Kerala, coastal Karnataka, Goa, and going up to Konkan and South Gujarat, entire west coast, that's in for heavy to very heavy rainfall. Interior parts of Karnataka will have some relief. North interior Karnataka, also South interior Karnataka, that situation will not be alarming as such, but then the coastline of Karnataka, definitely that is in for heavy to very heavy rains, and then could be flooding rains also at some of these places. And the situation, it's not going to ease out soon. We got to be in this situation for the next couple of days, maybe a little respite, and then thereafter again it starts raining. Month of July is the rainiest month for the entire west coast, including all these parts which I mentioned. So therefore it's going to be a off and on regular scenario over these parts. We need a lot of preparation, a lot of caution, a lot of security measures to be a little cautious about these dangerous situations, hazardous situations, which will be there on account of the fury of the monsoon. We need to take adequate precautions now itself, as it's not going to ease out early. Yes, please.
Well, many thanks, Mr. Sharma, for joining us there and for giving us all that detailed information about the monsoon. So very heavy monsoon this year. We've already seen the kind of havoc that heavy and incessant rains have caused in the northeast. Of course, there's good news now. There could be some respite, as Skymet President Mr. G.P. Sharma tells us. Also well, but the present situation of alerts could continue in Maharashtra and Karnataka. So all precautions and high alert there should be maintained.